Do you have a lot of tightness along the back side of your body? Well, if so, this is going to be a great video for you to check out. Now, this exercise is called hanging, and I'm sure most of us have tried something really similar to this. We're just bending down and letting our hands go towards our toes from the waist. And of course, since this is a postural therapy channel, the Posture Pain Connection, we're going to be looking at some of the finer points that a lot of people do this exercise wrong, even though it's so simple. And at the end, I've got one tip for if you have this problem with your butt wanting to stick out backwards when you try to bend at the waist. So be sure to stick around for that. All right, these are the instructions for hanging. Now, the first key part of this exercise is that we need to make sure that our feet are hip width apart. I don't want you standing with them straight together. I don't want them like shoulder width or wider. Really simple, about a fist width apart at the ankles. Right here. Now, the other part is I don't want those feet pointing out. I don't want them pointing really far in. I just want the big toes angled in about 5 to 10 degrees, or having these kind of middle line between these toes here pointing straight ahead. It might feel like you're standing pigeon-toed if you've got everted feet, but we're doing this for a very good reason when we are engaging the hip flexors in the proper way. Now, from here, it's a fairly simple exercise, but there is one part where a lot of people have problems. And the proper way, I'm going to do my best to do it here, sometimes I have even difficulty with this, is making sure that the hips and the knees stay directly over the ankles. So you want to go down slowly. If you go down too quickly, or if you have even if you go down slowly, you might still have this problem, you're going to find that the hips and the butt want to go backwards. And you can really feel that with stress in the knees here. Usually is where you'll be able to really feel if that's happening. If we have the knees and the hips centered directly over the ankles, you're not going to feel that tension in the knee itself. Now, as I said in the intro, we are going to want to make sure that those hips don't bail backwards, right? So a good way to address that problem is to stand against a wall and perform this exercise. So from here, you might need to put your feet a little bit away from the wall, but you're just going to go forward from here. And it's not a race to see how far you can get. Doing it properly, you may not be able to get very far initially, because we are preventing those hips from bailing backwards. And I can feel that I probably was bailing those hips backwards some in the other video when I was doing it just before. But you can slowly start going down and keeping those hips in the proper position. Now, this is going to be stretching but also strengthening. If we let those hips bail backwards, we lose that whole strengthening component because the weight has shifted to my heels. Whereas if I keep my hips forward, that weight is going to be largely centered on the balls of my feet. And I'll have to look at the videos to see how well I'm actually doing with not letting my butt bail backwards. I hope I'm doing it pretty well. But this is, while it's a simple exercise, it can be a lot tougher than it appears if you're doing it properly.